My name is Angie Fellenz. I'm a behavior treatment therapist at St. Agnes Hospital out of Fond du Lac. And man, do I have a story to tell you. I'm terrified. My script says I'm nervous, but I'm actually really terrified to be here. God has nudged me over the years and said, do this, do this, do this. And I'm kind of proud to say that I've ignored it for the most part, as much as I can, until he pushed me on a plane, and here I am speaking to more than 500 people in one room. So, here's my story. I graduated from college with a degree in education. I planned to be a teacher. And as I was beginning my career, people kept saying that I belonged in special education, something that I did not want to do and didn't even want to think about doing at the time. But as those of you have tried to make things go your way, my plan apparently was not the plan that God had for me. Before long, I joined a group called Beyond Boundaries of Autism with a dynamic leader named Vivian Hazel. She's where the idea for our organization, Beyond Boundaries of Autism, came with the relationship first philosophy. Beyond Boundaries of Autism was originally a goodwill program that provided in-home therapy to children with autism. Through a series of small miracles, we found ourselves joining Agnesian HealthCare and transitioned 78 children and their families. We did not lose one family in that transition from Goodwill Industries to Agnesian HealthCare. Agnesian Beyond Boundaries of Autism then became ABBA, not the singing group. I'm not sure any of us actually can carry a tune. The culture and mission of Agnesian HealthCare was exactly what I had been looking for, a faith-based nonprofit that not only believed in our work, but held nothing back in supporting us and helping us grow. So much so that in 2016, they agreed to support a most amazing thing, the Treffert Center, based on the life's work of Dr. Darold Treffert, the world-renowned expert on autism and savants, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It's the proud home of the only savant center in the world. I know, Fond du Lac. We have visitors and patients that come to us from around the state, the nation, and even from across the world. Using the Trafford approach, focusing on individual strengths, we have begun the work of our mission, bringing hope and healing to all that seek our care. Our services are not only in-home, but also center-based. This is significantly different from how other autism centers run, as is our approach to treatment, because we focus on relationships. We work in natural environments like the home, like in schools, and we change the way people understand and work with our children and adults. Our Treffert approach is used to educate staff, consult with other organizations, and move towards a greater understanding of neurodiversity. At the Treffert Center, we are changing families' lives. The story you're about to see is just one child, but I could go on for days about all the lives that have been touched. We have had the privilege to work with Justice and his family for several years now, and it has truly been life-changing. We began within his home environment, and then a couple months later transitioned him to a couple sessions a week at the Treffert Center. This story shows the power of the faith and commitment that Agnesian HealthCare has shown in allowing this unique service line to flourish under their care and create a beacon of hope for neurodiversity, where unique talents and skills are celebrated and grown. Justice and his mother, Nicole, had planned to speak today, but unfortunately were unable to attend. See what I mean when I said God literally pushed me on a plane? Given this, I would like to share a short video of Justice.
While I always dreamed of having children, Lucas and I focused on our careers as military veterans first. I had a very easy pregnancy, enjoyed reading all the parenting books, and felt more than ready when Justice arrived 2 days after my 35th birthday. When we brought Justice home from the hospital, I felt like all of my hopes and dreams had finally come true. But in my heart, I knew something was really off. Multiple professionals told us it was just colic, growing pains or a temperamental personality, and he would eventually outgrow it. He showed little interest in traditional toys, yet was obsessed with advanced shapes and the solar system. At 9 months, he held a pen like an adult and could draw near-perfect shapes and most letters of the alphabet. At 18 months, we realized he could read, even though we never taught him.
We often get calls from frantic parents who are scared and worried. We understand that parents are concerned and often desperate. Our first task is to listen and to understand.
I searched the internet and found an article about hyperlexia and Einstein syndrome written by Dr. Darold Treffert. I read it in shock, as it completely described Justice. I felt immediate relief, full of hope, and decided I would take Justice wherever in the world Dr. Treffert was located.
The Treffert Center is the only center of its kind in the world. It is a center for all children. We look for that island of genius in all children as we navigate the journey together.
Justice met with Dr. Treffert when he was just over 2 years old. We started taking him to the Treffert Center twice a week for therapy. Within a few months, Justice started talking. This was a miracle, as Lucas and I had resigned to the fact that Justice might never speak. I was driving and suddenly heard Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars coming from the back of the van. He then started using full sentences.
Justice is an astonishing example of hyperlexia and Einstein syndrome. When you see a child like Justice, the first thing to do is to make the correct diagnosis. Justice is a remarkable example. He came to us without speech, and within several weeks was speaking, and now is describing the periodic table, the solar system, and all sorts of other obtuse subjects that sort of out-Google. The outcome for hyperlexia and Einstein syndrome is very positive, and part of our message here at the center is that it is a condition with a good outcome, giving relief and hope to parents and families.
The Trafford Academy is for all children. Through an integrated classroom, children with unique abilities work together and celebrate successes. They learn through play and movement. It's so important to be part of an inclusive environment.
While Justice is still a very unique child, his ability to communicate and socialize with others now is priceless. Using the Treffert approach and teaching to the talent, Justice receives individualized therapy from a specialized staff of professionals trained in hyperlexia. Justice, while still obsessed with the solar system and academically advanced well beyond his age, now laughs and enjoys everyday life like an average child. The skills and knowledge given to us by the Treffert Center staff has enabled us to integrate Justice's world into ours and ours into his, which has been life-changing for our family.
I have the best job in the world. In my eyes, I see stuff like that every day, and every day it truly amazes me. His story, though, is an example of God's grace and how he can do small miracles in everyday lives, in all of our jobs. It's a local example of someone who found us when they needed us because Agnesian HealthCare believed in us, supported ABBA, and developed the Treffert Center. You see, we literally are changing the way autism is treated, focusing on strengths, and as Dr. Treffert says, growing the islands of genius within all of us. I am now a behavior treatment therapist through the Treffert Center, where we teach all children and show other educators how to help all children flourish in an integrated classroom. We are currently collaborating with one of the local public schools to start a charter school the Treffert Way in North Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It seems God wants me involved in education anyway, just not how I planned. I'm now teaching the teachers, helping not only those children we care for, but spreading the Treffert approach. For me, this means working with Montessori schools throughout the Fox Valley and the Green Bay area. Our idea of neurodiversity is changing the way schools, families, organizations, companies that employ these individuals. It's changing the way neurodiversity is seen. It also means I'll be traveling to California, getting pushed on a plane again, to help a family that was so impressed with our services and how we work with neurodiversity. They want us to go there to teach their school about the Treffert approach. I've been honored, humbled, and amazed by the opportunities that I've had since joining Agnesian HealthCare and now SSM Health. In this culture, I can live out my faith because I see the mission and values of SSM Health reflect those that I hold and those that have brought me to this place in my journey, addressing a large crowd, talking about my passion and helping others understand that by small miracles, great things can happen. Thank you.